Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of 24 Carats Hangout. I'm Nanku Sabani and with me today is Uncle Chris.
Yeah, I'm here again today. Thank you, Nankus, for having me.
Thank you for coming. So, we're continuing from the questions that you've been asking, the relationship questions that you've been asking. So, we're going to start with the first question here. Now, this person is asking that this brother used to beat her once in a while when he's very angry. It's only when he's very angry that he beats her. But apart from that, he's okay. And when he calms down, he apologizes. So should she continue with the relationship or should she back out?
When domestic violence or physical abuse is involved in a relationship, it's a threat to your life. And I would say you back out. As a young person, there are a lot of things that you shouldn't think too much about. And physical abuse is one of the things that you shouldn't think too much about. I know you love the person, I know you're emotionally connected to that person, but the truth is that if at your age they are beating you up, then they won't stop, except they go seek for help. And they can go seek for help, but without you at the moment. But so what I'm trying to say is that stay away from that relationship so it doesn't cost you your life. And let them go and seek for help. Let them seek a therapist or a counselor and let them work on themselves while you move on with your life. Okay, so don't stay in a relationship that you're being physically abused because it leads to destruction. Most of the times the goal is for it to kill you. That's the goal.
Wow.
If an abusive relationship, the goal is for it to kill you. And there are levels of death that you can experience. You can experience emotional death. You can experience death at your mind level. You can experience physical death. Because the more someone abuses you, they make you feel less of yourself.
True.
They say things to you that are emotionally abusive as well. You begin to see yourself not being that person who you think you are. You begin to see yourself less, and it affects your self-image, it affects your self-esteem. Apart from the fact that the physical abuse can even lead to your physical death, you can fall into depression and you can even begin to think about suicide. So there are a lot of ways that physical abuse or emotional abuse can drive you to death. So stay away from that relationship. Let them go seek help while you live your life.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. So it's not even just about physical abuse. It can also be emotional. So Mercy is asking a question here. She says that her boyfriend really loves her, but his family does not like her. And she feels since she's going to be married to him, not the family, should she go ahead? Because he wants to marry her, but his family does not like her.
This is a very interesting situation. If her family does not like you, don't just think that you're going to get married to him alone and the problem is solved. The problem is not solved. Reason is because as Nigerians or as Africans, we are a very cultural society. And marriage does not only involve the person you're getting married to directly, it also involves families. So your parents are coming together, their parents are coming together, you have siblings. Marriage involves families. It's a union of two families, even though it's a union of two individuals, but then families would definitely play a role in the marriage. So one thing is important. You definitely need the blessings of their parents. You definitely need the blessings of your parents. So don't just rush to say, oh, it's only him I'm getting married to, so he's the one I'm going to just deal with and get married to him, and I won't think about every other thing. No. Make sure that you're praying about it. As long as you're convinced that this is the person you want to get married to, make sure you are convinced about it and be praying about it and ask God to help you while you navigate getting the parents or the family to like you. It's important to have conversations. What is the reason why they don't like you? Because sometimes it's about assumptions. It's about, thinking about tribal differences and all of that. People could have different issues why they don't like you. So it's important to have that conversation, ask questions, and maybe you could clear their doubts. It's also important to have that conversation also with your family and to ensure that everyone who is older than you, who sees beyond you and beyond the marriage and the love that you feel, can come in and play an important role in trying to resolve it. If it involves getting your pastor who they respect or getting someone who they respect to talk to them, make sure you do that. But ensure that before you get into that marriage, you don't have enemies waiting for you to deal with you.
True.
By the time you come into that marriage.
True.
It's not worth all the fights, it's not worth all the wars. So ensure that you're able to deal with this before even going into the marriage. Very important.
Oh, thank you so much, Uncle Chris. Now, Cheesy is asking a question. Cheesy says that it has been said that men are polygamous in nature and women forgive infidelity easier than men do. So she's a little bit confused here how to go about it. How is it justifiable for a man to cheat but a very big offense when a woman does the same?
Yes, so cultural mindsets have defined some of the things that we see. Before Christianity, people were marrying more than one wife. We had a lot of cases where people were marrying more than one wife. And, polygamous relationships or polygamous marriages were accepted.
Yeah.
But then over a period of time, it has changed. We have more, we now have Christianity. Even Muslim relationships or Muslim marriages allow people to get married to 4 women. But for Christians, it is expected, and the Bible is not very, very clear about polygamous marriages. But then from the Bible, you can actually see the mind of God. The mind of God says from the beginning, He created one man, one woman. That's the original plan and purpose of God. So even though some people began to have more than one wife, He didn't say anything about it. He didn't say it is wrong, it's not wrong. But then if you come to the New Testament, you find out that Paul was saying for a man who is going to be a deacon or a leader in church, there should be a man of one wife.
Yeah.
And then, when Jesus was also talking to some of the people in His time, He was like, in the beginning, it was not so. So what this means is that God's mind is that men are monogamous. So having said that, but culture, the tendencies of humans or men, for instance, have created a cultural approach to this, and we see a lot of cheating that happens. It's becoming a norm, it's becoming a culture. But then as young people, it's important to have a stand.
Yes, sir.
And that stand is the fact that you're going to be monogamous. So yes, because of the way the society is more patriarchal, in the sense that men are more favored, men do more of these things. And so a woman can, because of her children, decide to stay in the relationship. But then that's not the ideal. And nobody's also saying that if you find out that a man is cheating, you should carry your bag and go. It's you and God and that person to see what works best for you. So it is dependent on you, the man, and to figure out what is best for you, especially if the man loves you and the man wants to be with you and the man is genuinely sorry and the man is seeking for help. Because there are different cultures that are defining a lot of things. For some cultures, when you find out that someone is cheating, carry your bag and leave. For some cultures, it's not also acceptable to stay because you don't know, you might just be exposing yourself. So you can't really define these things. But what I'm trying to say is that there are mindsets, there are cultural values.
Yes, sir.
So many different perspectives to things. But one thing as a young person that you must understand is that you must have your own stand. And that stand is from the Word of God. That's what is God saying about it? So cheating should not be justified. That's number one. Yeah, there are people who will not forgive their wives easily as compared to... That's not your business. Forget about that. For you, what you're trying to tell yourself is that I'm going to love like God. I'm going to build a long-lasting relationship that is going to be monogamous. And I'm going to learn to operate my relationship like God will always operate it. So no matter the context or no matter the circumstance, I would ask myself, what will God do in this situation? And so that would help you determine how to live your life. That will help you determine how not to allow what you're seeing influence you, as a person. So that is really very important. Because it's important to also focus on what is important and not, just be considering a lot of things.
Yes,
so
sir.
there are things that don't concern you. Focus on yourself. Build your own relationship with God and with the person you're going into a relationship with. And when you get into marriage, understand that it has to be monogamous.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. So it's very important to build yourself. Okay, so Dozier here says he's tired. Whenever they're going out with his girlfriend, he pays the transportation fare, he pays for the whole dates, sends her money to make her hair, and all of that. So he wants to know who should be footing the bills in a relationship.
Dozier is tired of billing.
Yes, sir.
Dozier is tired of billing. Okay, so I'd also bring us back to culture and context. So it's expected that a man be a provider. That's what they say. But of course, you also have in our Gen Z generation, even in our generation, you have men working, you have women working.
True,
so
sir.
Back then, when it was just men who were the providers, it was because the men went to work, the women stayed at home to take care of the kids. So that generation transferred an ideology that has been negatively skewed. That ideology is the man should provide everything, while the woman is also working at home. It's just that her own kind of work is that she's taking care of the kids at home. She's ensuring that the home is peaceful. That will help the man prosper and provide. But now the woman is working. She may even be earning more than the guy.
Sometimes, yes.
And in this situation, she's keeping her money and saying, this is my money. The man should bring all his money, even when the man does not have so much. So there was a transfer of an idea or something that the current generation saw about the previous generation, but they have adapted it to suit themselves and not ask the question, what happened? Why was this dynamic the way it was?
Yes, sir.
So it's first to ask yourself, the person you are going out with, what is their mindset about what you bring to the table? Do they feel that it's only this guy that should take care of everything? I send money for wig, even when I don't have, she's angry and she's saying, you must send it. I need to buy new shoes. I need to go out with my friends. She's just billing and billing and billing you. Dude, if the billing is breaking your financial life down, if the billing is not helping you to succeed financially, if you're not saving because the billing is a lot and this person feels entitled, it's important to have that conversation with them.
Yeah.
Have that conversation with them, talk about it, and say, yes, it's either we sometimes split the bill or you help out, or we reduce the number of outings that we go for, especially if you love this person. And see also if they are understanding, because it's also about understanding and compromising.
Yes, sir.
If they think that it's your responsibility to deal with it, and if they can't take care of you, then the relationship won't work. Be happy to walk away. But if they understand that, okay, I understand where you're coming from and I'm going to support you, yes, we can do this together, and then I can bring something to the table. Then you can walk around it. But it's important to understand that your relationship is not supposed to financially wreck you. It doesn't matter what relationship you are in. If that relationship is not adding value to you but is financially wrecking you, it's important to rethink that relationship and ask yourself if this is what you really want to do. Because you may be in that relationship and you will suffer financially. You will suffer. So if you don't want to suffer, try and talk about it. Ensure that the person you're in that relationship with also has the same mindset as you when it comes to finances.
Oh, very, very important. Thank you so much, Uncle Chris, for that. So Grace is asking a question here. She wants to understand why we set phone boundaries in relationships, but some of these relationships don't have body boundaries. So I can touch him, he can touch me, but we cannot touch each other's phones. She needs clarity on this.
Yes. So if you're hiding something in your phone, that's when, some people say phone is a private thing. It's your private property.
But your body is not private.
I don't understand how your body is not private, except you're hiding something.
Exactly.
I would personally just, stay. For me personally, my wife knows my passwords. My wife sometimes she enjoys just going to my phone to just read WhatsApp messages. So sometimes she's bored. She will just pick my phone. It's not something that happens every day. Once in a very long while. So we also understand that boundary. But I won't now have a password that my wife does not know. So we understand boundary, but we also understand that we are both one. So what you have is mine, what I have is yours. If you don't have anything to hide in your phone, you won't have issues with someone looking through your phone.
Exactly.
So the problem is if you have something that you're hiding, that's when you'll probably be uncomfortable when someone is looking through your phone. So I think that is important to deal with. So it's about you and defining how your relationship should operate. There are different ways people operate their relationship. Some people will be like, I don't want anybody to touch my phone, and that's it. If the both of you are happy with it, it's okay. But then there's always a 24-karat way of doing things. What's the highest quality of way to do something?
Yes, sir.
So for me, the highest quality would be that you can have access to my phone, I can have access to your phone. So it's important to have that in mind. But then, it depends on individuals. But I would say the 24-karat way is anybody can have access to your phone. I mean, your partner can have access to your phone. As long as you're not hiding anything, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Uncle Chris.